Well, Walker, thank you very much for inviting me this morning. Let me say good morning to our cherry viewers, especially the people of Lekpe, Lolobi, Central Government, Akpafu, and the NDC delegates who give me the opportunity that I should represent them on the ticket of NDC come 2024. I think that our democracy has come far since we began this whole exercise in 1992, 1993. We've had several by-elections in this country. And I dare say there are things we did in time past that as politicians, we took it for granted.
That you keep doing.
And we thought that we can continue on the same tangent forever and ever. The time has come for us to realize that the Ghanaian voter has become more sophisticated. The Ghanaian voter has become more conscious and aware of himself. And so those little things we do with the aim of trying to lure them to doing some particular things or thinking a particular way, really is gradually becoming a thing of the past. Because the video we just saw, this is an excavator that entered the community. Ordinarily, you would expect the people to be hailing them and be celebrating that at least they're coming to fix their road. But the question they're asking is, should we wait till our MP is removed from parliament? Or should we wait till our MP passes on before a government of the day will realize that there are Ghanaians who live in a particular area who deserve some form of development?
I don't
These
understand.
Say again?
I don't understand.
Which one don't you understand?
Because the supposition is that these are ongoing projects which now have...
Do you believe in that narrative? Did it sit well with you?
I'm not sitting here to believe.
No, but you know, when you
I think that when you asked me that question, it's unfair.
That?
Because he's made a supposition.
I'm asking you whether you believe in that narrative. Do you believe in it? Do you believe in it?
Question, not believe
Our viewers don't believe in it. And I was clapping for one as I was talking, because for me, this propaganda at its highest level. This propaganda at its highest level. To say that this contractor has been on the road or maybe at the area working all these years, and suddenly because there's a by-election, money that has not been paid to him for only God knows how long, suddenly has received the money, he has gotten his equipment, is back working. And it's not because of the by-election. For me, I don't know how you can say it on national television and expect our viewers to believe and accept a thing like that. The point I'm making really is that we cannot continue to take the people of this country for granted. Now, we politicians must stop thinking that we are doing Ghanaians a favor when we bring development to their communities. Because it's not our money that we use for some of these projects. It's the taxpayers' money or a loan we have contracted that all of us are going to work to pay for it. It is their right that we fix their roads. It's their right of seeing that their roads are fixed, electricity is available, water is available. All the things that will make life comfortable are available. This thing that is going on, that has been going on for some time now, of course, I must admit that this is not the first time that we're having a thing like this, that we're going for a by-election. Then quickly governments move in and they are doing development here and there. But we risk putting members of parliament at risk. Because if communities now can sit back and say, you know what, if we want to get our roads fixed, if we want to get our water, we want to get electricity, we want to get all the things that we need, then maybe let's find a way of eliminating our MP. But once we do it, there's going to be a by-election, we'll get those things within a month or 2 months. And it's a danger to all of us.
What is the danger?
This current practice. When anytime there's a by-election, suddenly all the monies are found. All the development, the attention is moving to the community. Everybody moves in there. And then we start doing all the things that we could have done several years ago for whatever reason. We glossed over, we didn't do. And so for me, it is sad that we think that we can use these things to just, as it were, buy the minds of the people to get them to think in a particular way or to vote in a particular way. And as the people said, if you, the video, the video you just played, I saw them say the near bill to wait now we are conscious, we have become more, as it were, civilized, that we know our rights. And so you can't use these things to, in quote, to fool us, to follow you sheepishly and go and vote. If you really care about us, if our development matters to you, why have you waited to this time? Right? So these are the things that run through the minds of the people. But come to the substantive issue for which we have to go for this particular by-election. What can I say is that laws are made for people. And the essence of every law is to bring about development and progress, in the life of a society or a group of people. Now, if that same law has become a challenge to the society, there's only fair and proper that something is done about it. And that is why the framers of our constitution will always make provision for amendment of some of the provisions in the law. Now, this custodial sentence issue that we'll be talking about, am I right? That death penalties and stuff like that. A few days ago, I watched the incoming Chief Justice. And when they asked her about her position on this death sentence issue, we all heard the answer she gave. She thought that it's too finite. We can't go about it that way. Even though it's a provision in law, I don't know if you have used it in the Fourth Republic. The gentleman can help me. If we have been able to sentence anybody, in the Fourth Republic, even though it's law, and people have done things that will merit that particular,
but execution.
Execution. We've sentenced people who have not executed anybody according to the law. The point I'm making is this: that Ghanaians have struggled. We all know that difficult people go through to even acquire a visa to visit, some of these countries. Now, when they get there, they go and find their way to get citizenship. They stay there to acquire knowledge, acquire expertise. Every now and then, they remit back to our country. Families are falling on them for their survival, everything we need. Their contribution to our GDP, we check the figures. Now, this person says, I want to return home to come and serve my country. Or the people of his area beckon him, please, we have seen your contribution over the years. Can you come and help us? Come and represent us as our member of parliament. Go to parliament and go and help make laws for us. The person oftentimes will leave their wives and their kids abroad, travel back home to come and help.
But that is the law, right?
That's the law. I'm saying that we need to look at this particular law.
That's what we're doing this
especially when in this case, the man initiated the process. It's just like I work in TV3. Then, you
don't work at TV3.
I'm just like Walker works in TV3.
Okay.
And he wants to live here. Maybe he wants to go to 3FM. All right, it's a separate institution. He wants to go to 3FM. So he puts in his resignation letter to the MD of TV3. As far as he's concerned, he has put in the resignation letter.
Okay.
So if he's going to take the MD a year or 2 years to respond to that letter, does it mean you remain put? You can't make a move.
But the objective for, the framers of the Constitution putting that in the law, especially when you look at the case of Belgium versus Rollins, which came up within the period of the Rollins administration. It was, a case that really questioned the allegiance of former President Jerry John Rollins. Okay? That he had a Scottish father, you look at the facts of the case. So I think the intent of the framers is, would you have an allegiance to solely Ghana if you were in some level of position? So for example, if you're a member of parliament, you're a minister, etc. So there's an intent to the law. We're not saying that all this advocacy we're undertaking should not be done. But would you say that the intent of the framers of the Constitution is wrong?
Yeah, of course. But come to think of it, if I owe allegiance to the United Kingdom, reality is that traditionally, originally I was born in Ghana. I'm a Ghanaian citizen. I've traveled to UK and I've applied to documentation to become a citizen.
Okay, so let me create a scenario here for you. You work as a member of parliament. You're in a special committee that is also going to meet the IMF. And then you have, let's say, Canada also highly represented within the discussions. And you're supposed to make inputs that will inure to the benefit of Ghana. But you also owe, by way of your citizenship, some level of allegiance to Canada. Is the intent of the framers of the Constitution not being that at that high level, you could somehow be subservient to the argument of the Canadians?
If that's the argument we are going to make, then nobody will work anywhere, nobody will do anything.
Well,
because this country,
it's frivolous. My argument is frivolous.
You know, in this country,
it's frivolous.
As we live in this country,
let's wrap up for me.
Yes,
Very
everybody knows somebody. We all either were classmates, we are colleagues at different levels, we are family members here and there.
That's true.
And so, if I get a position of responsibility, must I say that because Mr. Jantua is my uncle, assuming I'm a police officer somewhere or an IGP, and he's found himself at the wrong side of the law, I would say it's my uncle, so I should not enforce the law. Is that the argument? And so for me, I'm saying that we need to go back and look at this law. Go to National Identification Authority. I'll wrap up right now. That is where we are keeping the entire national database, national security. Every information about this country is kept at National Identification Authority. The question is, the man who currently occupies that position, is he a Ghanaian? Does he have allegiance to any other country apart from Ghana? Is that a concern to us as a nation? And so a man who only goes to parliament to go and make laws. I agree with that, you see, when he says that we need to look at this law.
Okay.
I don't think that the state in which it is now, it is healthy. And I am sad that because, just to conclude, because it's happened to the former MP for, what's the name? Boku Central. And so some people think that, yes, NDC you empower and that didn't happen, and so it must continue. I've heard people are now saying, oh, they are going to prosecute him. Some criminal prosecution will be brought. To what extent? That this man that helps the people have seen us so much, the testimonies, the work he has done, the young people, the life he has touched, the improvement he has brought to people. He's only crying that he returned from Canada to come and serve his country, so he should end up in jail because it happened in the past, and so we must continue? No.